Hello, this is the Trews. Now, you've probably noticed that the Trews hasn't been on regularly. Have you noticed that? Yeah, I noticed that. Maybe you've sent a comment, why are you not doing it regularly? The reason is because I think I've reached the point, me and Gareth, who I do the Trews with, have reached the point where we think that how far can you go with this cyclical reporting on cyclical news? Like, after a while of doing something on the news, you notice that the news has a particular shape to it. Like, stories come up, but there's always the same sort of shape, whether it's a celebrity scandal or the revelation of political corruption, or learning about sort of corporations exercising power that negatively impacts ordinary people. The way that these stories are told, there's a sort of a perfect shape to it. If you look at sort of, say, the vilification of Muslims in the UK, or the condemnation of Mexican immigrants in the USA, media behaves in a very sort of predictable and formulaic manner. The other thing that you notice is that if you speak out against that process, even from a modest online platform, you become the recipient and target of such incredible condemnation that it's, in a way, overwhelming. In another way, sort of completely understandable. But it's interesting, really, to become part of the news upon which you're reporting, and to see the machine, to feel the machine sort of on you. So, I think that we've gone as far as we can with the Trews for now. And the thing that's been interesting over the course of the year is the reaction to some of the stories that we've reported on, and the reaction in the press and on TV to me. So I think it's just worth reminding, as we step out of this conversation, as we step out of this ongoing arguments, some of which feels illusory and totally unreal, some of which feels sort of unbelievably visceral and truthful. Some of the stuff that we've been talking about, have a look at episode 144 of the Trews, where we talk about the avoidance of billions of dollars in tax by corporations aided by governments. Like, this triumvirate of media, government and corporations is one of the key stories we've noticed over the course of the year. Oh wow, the government, media and big business all work together to create one big story. Economic wars, selling weapons to countries on supposed human rights abusers list. That's episode 252 of the Trews. That was a fascinating moment. Do you remember when I said that thing like the minute silence is bollocks? Now, you understand that what I was saying is, if you and your government support the sale of arms on your own human rights abusers list and suspected terrorist list, one of the countries was Libya, and then terrorists from Libya kill your citizens, and then you have a minute's silence for the death of those citizens while continuing to sell arms to Libya, what value has the minute's silence really got? You know, and obviously the way that was reported is the removal of any salient information, the removal of any intelligent information, and the presentation of those facts in a way that just makes what I'm saying kind of irrelevant, you know, and makes me the story. And one of the things I've sort of learned is, you know, I'm sort of a show-off and a narcissist and all those kind of things, but really the stuff that we're saying is completely true. It's true that the government is selling arms or facilitating the sale of arms to countries on its own human rights abusers list. So who cares who says that or what they say about it? A gradual removal of human rights and personal freedoms. That's episode 322 of the Trews. You know, we're seeing this through sort of data capture, the collaboration between sort of online big businesses, Facebook, Apple, etc., and governments, like spying, which is always meant to be for our protection. The corruption behind the fossil fuel industry and its ties to governments. We're sort of more aware of that now. I'm not saying solely because of the Trews, but what I'm pointing out is that all these stories that we're reporting on are completely true things. But if you look at about the way that I'm reported on in the press, you kind of think, oh my God, well, as this guy must have done something mental and terrible. The destruction and privatisation of the NHS, of which MPs benefit, that's episode 208. Continued globalisation and the introduction of treaties that will give multinational corporations unstoppable power. Have a look at that, episode 201. Now, obviously, we're just been a small voice, a small contributor to a massive argument. Adbusters is a wicked magazine. George Monbiot is wicked and probably still not pronouncing his name correctly, even though he's been on loads of shows. Mozambique has been on here from the organisation Cage, a man that was in Guantanamo Bay and now sort of speaks on behalf of persecuted Muslim minorities and people wrongly imprisoned around the world. You know, we've just contributed to that conversation. We've had mad high points like the mad rows with Fox News on Hannity.
Now, Russell, if you're watching, and I'm sure you will, take a close look at your TV because I need to educate you because you're kind of dumb and ignorant.
Being on the front page of the Sun newspaper basically for a week simply because we stood up for a small estate in East London that was being taken over by a private corporation. Now that particular battle was won. The True Era, New Era estate and the True Era cafe, which is there now, didn't get overtaken. But that was reported on Fox News.
He lives in a rent control department.
Yeah.
And he's out there trying to be with the little people.
I was called a hypocrite on Fox News, on American TV, for sticking up for people who are losing their homes because my landlord has a tax haven where Rupert Murdoch actively lobbies to create tax loopholes. So it's been like an extraordinary time. It's an extraordinary time for all of us. Like there's a presidential election in America that's thrown up ludicrous characters like Donald Trump, but also sort of the potentially optimistic participation of Bernie Sanders. Is there a possibility through conventional political means to return the will of ordinary people to the seat of power? It's a real big question. When I talked about revolution at the beginning of this mad journey on Jeremy Paxman, I was kind of gung-ho and stuff, but I think what revolution really means, and what it literally does mean, is a change of power, not using the conventional means of power. We're going to have to come together in a different way to create that change. Now, I believe that more than ever. I really believe in change. I feel really optimistic about the inevitability of change. Paul Mason wrote a wonderful article, have a look at this link, about how new economies are emerging, new ideas are emerging, and I believe in the possibility of ordinary people to change their circumstances if they come together. And I believe in myself and the Trews and what we've been doing. But it feels to me like a spiralling sort of avalanche, and I sort of feel like I want to spend some time learning, understanding, developing, living a life outside of a crazy kind of discourse. So I'm not going to be doing the Trews. I'm not going to be on Twitter or Facebook. I'm going to be learning because I know real change is coming and I want to be part of that. And I know, because one of the best things about being the Trews is like wherever I go, people all over the world, thank you for the Trews, thank you for the Trews, wherever you go in the world, people are into this. It's like, we are part of a conversation. We're representing an argument that isn't well represented, can't be by definition represented in mainstream media. And I love that, but I can't do it the service it requires until I go away and learn some stuff, so that when we come back, it will be more truthful, more inclusive than ever, because we're going to need it, because the world's going mental, and more than ever, ordinary people need to come together. I'm not like I'm mad or nothing, don't think, this is the right, I know like I sort of dress weird, sometimes I have a blanket on my head, and the tattoos are of deities and stuff. It's not like that, it's kind of, I'm going away to think and to learn because it's worth it, because this is an important time, because there is a possibility of change at a time when former prime ministers are condemning members of their own party for simply saying, let's build houses, let's have free education for people. Warmongers turn on their own. It's so crazy. So really, the obligation to tell the truth, as always, lies with you as much as it does with me. The only real weapon we have is to be truthful with ourselves, truthful with one another, and to formulate new organisations, new ways of pursuing change. You can do that in traditional ways as well. If you believe in Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn, then I agree, these are good avenues to pursue. But for me, I think that real change is going to come from outside of those spheres, whilst supporting explicitly the endeavours of people like that. I feel that this is bigger than that, more global than that, more transcendent than that. And that's what I want to learn about now. So thank you for your support. Thank you to all the people that have subscribed, supported us, wrote to us, given us ideas. Thank you to Gareth Roy, look. Look at him stood there. Thank you for all the people that supported the campaigns around cab drivers, Sweetsway Estate, the New Era Estate, all of those issues, obviously they're still going on. Thanks to everyone that's participated in it. I've really, really enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon. What were we going to say? There's another pun, isn't there, about the Trews?
To be continued.
To be continued. We started with a bad pun. We ruined the general election.
Russell Brand's a joke.
We antagonised Fox News.
Scruff bucket, Russell Brand.
We brought about change. We brought new conversations to the table. But we will be ending on a bad pun. To be continued. Don't unsubscribe here. Goodbye for now.
would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby, how